switching out drummers so that it doesn't ever stop.
Yeah, a steady beat 24 hours a day, continuously.
A loud fucking one that's like in your bones.
Yeah, it's not one guy, it's several guys, right? And they are surrounding the city.
Like,
so no matter
strategically
where
placed.
you are going to hear the drums, which would put you on serious edge. Like, that's psychological torture of an entire city.
Yeah. And it says the whole fucking city is having a hard time. Like,
As
with life.
you would.
Yeah. Verna asks Warren to tell her about Jagang and the Order. They started taking over about 10-15 years ago, and the Emperor hasn't really caused any problems so far. Usually he stays out of the palace business. They don't know why he's coming, but Verna hopes soon so the drums stop, because this is too much. Warren tells her that he was told by one of the guards that this has happened before in another place, and it went on for 6 months.
No!
It doesn't mean he's coming soon. It just means he's coming. Like, he penciled it into his book.
Yeah.
At some point in the next year.
The drums indicate that he has decided to visit you.
Yeah.
And they go until he gets there.
It could be tomorrow or 6 months, apparently.
Or, like, ultimately years.
Yeah.
The guy's an emperor. He's, like, creeping up on territory and gaining space, so there's, like, obviously a war effort going on.
Who knows
He's a
where he
busy
is.
guy.
Yeah.
It might take him a minute.
Mm-hmm.
Holy shit. No. That's bad.
Well, shit, and now that I think about it, this isn't even in the notes, because now that I think about it, the Sisters of the Dark are going to see Emperor Jagang.
Oh, shit, yeah.
And now he's coming to see the Pop.
So that might mean that the Sisters of the Dark are headed back to the Pop.
Yeah.
Unknowingly.
Yeah.
Right. Holy shit.
Okay. All right. Anyways, so Warren also tells Verna that it is told that his army is ridiculous fucking big. Like almost impossible to believe big. Like, from horizon to horizon. You can't see anything else except the army. That's a lot of fucking people. It's a lot of shit. That's a lot of food. I'm just saying. I mean, I know armies are big, but that's a crazy, that breaks my brain a little
lot.
bit. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's a lot.
I got caught up because when you said that's a lot of shit, and I was like, does she mean equipment or?
No, I meant shit.
Like the little holes they leave behind while they probably don't do that. It's the Order.
Yeah.
They're like, what's the terminology they use? They're like a blight. They move in, they eat everything up, and they just level everything in front of them.
Yeah, and they would have to. Yeah.
A lot of resources needed to move that many fucking dudes.
Yeah. And it's gonna smell when they leave. Verna's unconcerned,
Just
though.
go to Kelton.
Yeah. That's why the Keltons are part of them. Okay.
Verna's... shit. It all makes sense now. You guys do that too? Fuck. Bring it in, pal. Oof. Ooh.
God. So Verna's unconcerned because the palace doesn't deal with politics except its own.
Yeah.
Their business is with the creator's wishes, not an emperor's. They are above that. Okay? We're better than that. We don't give a shit about the emperor. He can try us. Warren tells her back in this inflames something in Warren. When he sees her, like, being all badass and being like, fuck the Order. We'll tell them to stop drumming if we want to, because we will. And he's like, you don't want to fuck with this guy.
Why don't we pump the brakes just a little bit? I did mention he's an emperor.
Yeah.
Who's in the middle of a war.
Taking over everything?
Maybe not push his buttons. Yeah, we're literally in the middle of his territory by his grace.
Yeah.
And without that, he would, he could crush us. He didn't really give a fuck about us, right? So let's maybe do what the guy says.
His guards are all in our palace, like, knowing our inner workings and listening to us and shit. So.
Now, as far as they're concerned, too, they don't know that Richard is against the Order. They're just like, the Order is this thing, and then Richard was battling the Keeper. They don't know that he's, like, his fiancé was just waging a war against them, and so he's about to join up against them.
They have no idea that the Order is in the New World, I believe.
This whole thing is coming to a head, and they have no idea.
Yeah.
Oh.
They're just like, they're very casually talking about the Emperor and the New World Order. What? Okay. About
NWO.
The Emperor and the Imperial Order. They haven't caused any problems yet, so they're not worried about him. Not like Richard and Kaelin are when they know there's a problem and they hate magic. These people would be way more concerned if they knew about the whole no magic agenda, I feel like.
Yeah, well, yeah.
But watching Verna get so fired up about this and be so badass, Warren gets like, hey, and he's like, you know what? Back in the day, I had a crush on you too. And I don't blame her for at first thinking he's mocking her, because I would be like, fuck you too. Because, like, no.
Yeah, because when I said it, you were all like, whoa, well.
Yeah, you didn't say anything back then. But he assures her he's not. He was just not confident back then. And by the way, you were getting dicked down by Jed. So it was a little hard for me to slide up in there.
Holy shit. Yeah, there's that. I was just going to say something like, oh, but your nose does that little flare thing when you get all angry, and I like it. But no. Yeah, you were getting some.
Yeah. I had to watch that. So Verna jokes that he could leave to go study those books, actually, if he wanted to, and age up a little bit, and then catch up to her as far as looks go, and then they could hold hands. Which is kind of like it's sweet on one hand, but on the other hand, fuck you. A couple minutes ago, you were like, no, you can't leave, you gotta stay here. And now I'm like, oh, I used to have a crush on you. You're like, oh, you could do that? You thought I was a child, like 10 minutes ago.
Yeah, it's super fucked up. And not to mention, though I am going to mention, that, like, 20 years is not worth holding hands. I'm sorry. If I'm going to do this thing for 20 years where I'm just going out into the world and aging, then, like, is there something substantial when I get back? Or are we just going to see from there, but now my chances are better because I'm a little older? Because I don't know. I kind of like being young.
Yeah.
I just rock this for another few hundred years first.
I feel like I get where she's coming from with the optics, from, like, other people's view. Like, I'm with the old lady, and you're the young man. But, like, can't he do so much more for you in the state he's in now? You know, like,
I mean, yeah, most likely, as far as
young, virile body.
Yeah.
You know what I
mean, good on her. She got a younger guy who's kind of the most important person at the palace. So, yes, that is it.
And who's mentally the
she
same.
Didn't like Warren. Yeah. He was childlike, but now he's like kind of dude number one. And so she's like, oh my God,
hey.
Warren. Shit, have you been working out?
But, like, this is perfect scenario. He's the same age mentally as you.
Yeah. He's
super fucking smart. He's gonna be a wizard. And he's still got a hot bod. So, what are you talking about making him go get older? Like, just, no, seize that.
Which is actually kind of funny because in an earlier chapter, like, remember the Sisters of the Dark? The whole enjoy it while you can thing because it doesn't last forever. I'm just gonna, not forever, but for a while.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
So, no, sorry.
Yeah.
No.
I don't have back pain yet, Verna, so.
That's what it is. You're really old, but you still age. So by 30, like us, do we have shit backs already? But that period lasts for like 300 years? Or what's the deal?
I think so, but at the least we wouldn't get, like, worse. We wouldn't get, like, 50-year-old back for a while, so.
But then you'd have 50-year-old back for a while.
Yeah, but that's better than 60-year-old back.
Shit, it just gets worse. I'm 960 and I desperately want to go. Please help me.
But magic should help with that. If you can't fix
That's
your
true.
hurt back with magic, what's the fucking point?
Like Batman, what's the point of all those push-ups if you can't lift a log? Come on, man.
So, suddenly, Swordsman Kevin, like our favorite swordsman, like the only swordsman who has a fucking name, runs up and says, hey, you guys are needed back at the palace. Actually, Verna's needed back at the palace. We need her. They wouldn't tell him why, but they threatened him if he wasn't quick about it. So he's being fucking quick about it. And Verna jokes that they should go back in a hurry, or he's gonna be skinned. And his skin will use as a flag.
So, getting real Ed Gein vibes right now.
Yeah.
But, like, he took that very, very seriously. When he came running up, it said he, launched himself over a small boy?
He vaulted.
He vaulted over a kid to get there so he could get there ASAP.
Yeah, he was not. And you know what? Knowing what we know about some of the sisters and their affinity for skinning fucking people, I don't blame him for being a little freaked, because you know what? I feel like there had to have been remnants. Maybe not. Maybe the sisters disposed of. Didn't we talk about this before?
That was the point. No, they had to get rid of they had to get rid of everything.
The body, like,
yeah,
we just
they get rid of everything.
The bodies are in a bunch of them are in the woods somewhere.
Remember,
Skin
like
flaps
we talked about before?
in the trees.
Magic.
Yeah, okay.
With just small print saying eraser.
They have subtractive magic.
Right. Yeah, they get rid of all of it.
Okay.
Yeah.
But I don't blame him for being freaked either way. So that was my point.
I like my skin. I would like to keep it. Thanks.
Yes. Yeah. Me too.
That is a really weird place to leave off, though. I mean, wow. Yeah. I don't want to be skinned.
Yeah. It's, but you know what? We know that she was joking. So.
Was she?
Yes.
He vaulted over a child.
It said Verna joked.
Oh, well.
And the Sisters of Light don't skin people. They just joke about it.
They just joke about it. They just make you believe they're going to do it.
Yeah.
For sure.
Yeah.
Well, I think that does it for this chapter. If you guys wanted to let us know what you thought, you can send an email to podcastatt@gmail.com. We're on all of the social medias at podcastatt. Made it nice and simple. And if you wanted to help this podcast grow, you can. You can go to patreon.com/podcastatt and make a pledge. We really, really appreciate it. I'd also encourage you guys to go check out our brand new website. It's up and running. It's kicking ass. I'm learning a whole bunch. I think it's worth it. You can. You can go to podcastatt.com.
Yes.
Boom. Done. Dun, dun, dun. Felt good. Thank you guys for listening, and we will see you real soon.